Hello and welcome to Legion Game Reviews. Today we'll be taking a look at Navalia, a very simplistic space strategy game with ship design elements. So let's just run through the game aspects real quick. Since the ship designer is the main selling point, let's start with that. With a node-based custom shape as well as options for projectile, missile, and laser weapons, armor, shields, power generators, and engines, which all can have customized stats to research, you really have an opportunity to open up your imagination. You'll probably spend the first half an hour in the design menu designing your mothership. 5 minutes later, you will realize that you had no idea what you were doing whatsoever and have as much fun designing another one. Throughout the game, you will be constantly designing new ships to optimize your fleet, or at least that's how the game is supposed to be played, and it's not a bad thing. Ship design is extremely well implemented in Navalia. Next up is the galaxy map. This part of the game is turn-based. You are in control of one fleet with a mothership and up to 6 destroyers. The goal is to collect a certain amount of resources. You will do this by capturing the so-called resource systems and by destroying enemy fleets. There are just 2 types of buildings you can build in this game: mining stations in resource systems and defense stations in other systems. Very simple, and I love it. This game has a well-defined identity and it follows it flawlessly. This is not Stellaris. I'm not going to sink hundreds of hours into the game, so I don't want to be bogged down by micromanagement. I just want to fuck shit up with my custom designed ships, pardon my French, and the dev delivers. So once you've designed and built your mothership, choose your target, and hold your junk of metal over at an astounding speed of 2 systems per turn, you finally get to test out how your ship fares against enemy queens and their hordes of fighters in an RTS type battle. There are some issues, like an infrequent glitch which won't let you position your ships before the battle, or a lack of battle sounds unless you're zoomed in, or a lack of a pause button for the real tryhards. But this battle thing is pretty entertaining. Your masterpiece shooting its way through hundreds of nasty flies to get to their queen and save this planet from sure annihilation. Great fun, until you realize that once you've fought the one battle, you've fought them all, and that the first couple of fights are going to be the hardest ones in your playthrough, and those were pretty easy. So this is where the game shoots itself in the leg for me. It's not the fact that it's the most oversimplified strategy game I've played like ever. I love the simplicity, and that's coming from a fan of 4X, RTS, and any other type of strategy game you can find out there. A game's simplicity is the second best thing about it after the ship designer. The problem is that the dev confused simple with easy, and it's not only the battles, it's the galaxy map and the game objective as well. You can realistically capture like 4 or 5 resource systems in 15 turns, build some defense stations around them and your home system to deal with the auto-spawning enemy fleets that attack you, and then just run down the turns. I've played it on the normal difficulty, easy, played it on the hard difficulty, even easier, because I knew how to design ships now, played it on the hard difficulty with only the mothership, without building any destroyers, still easy. The only mildly challenging thing I did in the game is beat the hard difficulty with only the mothership and without upgrading it. I mean, it's ridiculous. You only need to design one ship in a game where ship design is the central mechanic. That difficulty slider that goes from 50% to 150 has to go up to at least 300% for the game to challenge people who design effective ships. So if you like hard strategy games, or if you're German, I probably would not recommend Navalia to you unless the difficulty is scaled up in an update. You'll only get the most out of this game if you forget about designing ships that pack the biggest punch and focus on designing whatever the hell you want. So who's this game for? Well, first of all, if you're going to design ships that look a bit less like this and a bit more like this game is for you. Or if you don't play strategy games but would like to try one out. Or if you're allergic to putting shields on your ships. Again, I'm very reluctant to recommend this game to strategy fans because of how frustratingly easy it is. And that's a real shame, since this is a strategy game. However, if you think you can overlook how easy this game is, I think it is a really interesting experience to people who are used to having hundreds of building options, over-cluttered research trees, and dozens of fleets to command. This game has really shown me that all those things are not what makes it a good strategy game. One last thing I wanted to touch on is the pricing. I think $10 is a bit too steep for Navalia. I believe most people would do a maximum of 2 playthroughs, which is around 5 hours of playtime. Personally, I have a bit under 10 hours of playtime, but that's because I wanted to figure out just how easy this game is before making this review. Most people will not be playing this game as much as I did. I believe a $5 price point would make this game worth its money. A heavy discount better yet. That's it for this review. Leave a like if the video was helpful, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you for tuning in.